before I started doing all this detox stuff, juice fasting, and just cleansing myself, I had a lot of misconceptions in my brain about how it was going to go, and just how the journey was going to be, basically. So I just want to make a video with some things that I wish I knew before I started doing this. And the first thing is that I think the most common misconception is that we're going to do it for 90 days, get all of the plaque out, like the whole body, and end up looking perfect and becoming clean forever, and that's just not the case. I don't know anyone who has done this for just 90 days, gone from like a standard diet to a 90-day juice fast, and then ended up like completely clean, got all of the plaque out. I've just not seen it. You can't even really expect to get the plaque out with just juicing. Like, some of this stuff is really old and really sticky, and it's really caked in on the walls of the intestines. And you need to use like psyllium husk, bentonite clay, colon cleanses, enemas, senna herbs. That's like a stimulant laxative herb. There's other herbs like Cascara sagrada, which is a stimulant laxative herb. All of these things, in conjunction with the juicing and the not eating, get the plaque out, but it takes way longer than 90 days in most cases that I've seen in our modern world. So you got people like John Rose. Even he didn't get completely clean in 90 days because he'd done a bunch of juice fasting before that, and he was in a really good condition. He says he was a world-class athlete. So yeah, I don't know, that's just a common misconception. And another thing that people don't recognize about this is that you can't go back once you start, or it's very rare, very difficult to do. So this sort of starting to do this is like the beginning of an awakening process in terms of like body consciousness. You start to really understand how your body works, and you get really, really in touch with it. And that makes it very difficult to go back to your old behaviors. The old junk foods and like taking drugs or drinking alcohol. Like, it's very hard to do those things. Like, I have fairly recently tried to drink some alcohol. So I'll give tell you the story. So probably about a month ago, I went to see some friends, and they were drinking beer because it's friends I haven't seen for ages. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I want to drink beer with my friends, or like drink some alcohol. I was thinking that would be nice. I'm not doing it out of like an addictive, from an addictive place. So I was like, I'm gonna go get a nice bottle of wine. So I went over to the shop, got a nice bottle of wine, and I was like, I'm gonna enjoy this. And I poured the glass of wine, and I drank it, and then my fucking head felt really hot, and it felt like my face was gonna blow up, and it was very uncomfortable. And it was like a signal from my body. It was saying, if you keep drinking that, you may die. And that also makes me wonder, one of my mates said this, but what if the drinking age is only the drinking age because we have to get our body to a certain level of toxicity before we can tolerate alcohol properly? That does make you think, because after I cleaned myself so much and then I tried to drink it recently, like, I felt like I was going to die. So yeah, not good. But yeah, as I'm saying, it's just awakening body consciousness. You start to become really aware. So I guess it's like the end of your old life in a way when you start doing this, because you become like isolated from people. No one around you is going to understand what you're doing. People are so deeply programmed to think you need food like protein and bread and milk for calcium and all this bullshit. Like, people are so deeply programmed that they're not going to understand. They're going to be worried about you. It's quite an isolating experience. You're lucky if you've got one person that understands in your life, because otherwise you'll just be doing it on your own. Which is, again, it's just one of the things I wish I knew before I started. But again, there's no avoiding it. So, I guess I found it out along the way. And another thing is that when you do this, at first, there are going to be more bad days than there are going to be good days. Absolutely. The bad days will probably outnumber the good days 70% to 30%. You're just gonna have more bad days. Detox symptoms, boredom, because you're going to realize how much food is like an activity, or like, you know, it's doing drugs. Eating food is doing drugs, unless you're eating oranges, or, you know, but eating cooked food, bread, cheese, it's doing drugs. So you'll get bored. You'll have detox symptoms, headaches, flu symptoms, emotional detoxification, where you're just angry all day and you don't know why, or you're sad all day and you don't know why, or maybe you do know why. You're just like old emotions, memories, flashbacks, they all come up, and it's just just unpleasant for a while. And what that is all of those things leaving you, but you have to re-experience them during a detox for them to leave. That's just unfortunately how it works. So that's just something, you know, you need to be aware of. And I've got these written down, these points, because I wanted to make sure I got them all in the video. The next one that I have written down, oh yeah, so this might be the most important one of all. The way most people, it seems to me, based on what I can see and how I've experienced this, live their life is they chase stimulation and pleasure and dopamine. Everyone's just hopping from stimulant to stimulant to stimulant, whether it be scrolling your phone, or eating some food, or doing drugs, or drinking alcohol, or smoking weed, or even something as simple as like eating a chocolate bar. That's a stimulant. All of these things just stimulate us. They give us dopamine hits. And when you start doing this juice fast, all of that gets taken away from you, because there is no more. You're exposed. You're left with yourself, and you have to learn how to fall in love with being alive itself, because that becomes all you have, and that can be difficult, especially if you're a serious dopamine addict like most of us. And the fleeting pleasures after a while just won't do it for you anymore. So a stimulant hit off of like a chocolate bar, or it just won't. You'll be so in touch with your body and spirit and how you're truly supposed to be living that, not to say that I'm in a place where I'm truly supposed to be living, because I'm not yet, but I'm getting there. I definitely have fallen in love with life, and I definitely do feel a baseline level of joy and contentment at all times, whereas before I was always looking for the stimulation. I say you have to learn that, but if you just detox long enough, it's almost like you'll be dragged kicking and screaming into that, whether you like it or not. Which at first you won't like it, but after a while you do like it. So yeah, it's not all sunshine and buttercups doing a detox, which is unfortunately how it's portrayed, even in my videos, because you only make videos on days when you're feeling good, right? Like when I'm having one of those detoxy days where I feel like shit and I'm all down, like, or, you know, like I've got fucking flu symptoms, I'm not about to go outside, walk along, be all cheery and make a video. So it's just one of them things. It's not that people are like, when you see all these videos of like, oh, detox is just amazing, because it is amazing, but it's learning to let go of old behaviors. But yeah, the people that make those videos, they're not intentionally just trying to sell the good side. They're only making videos on the days when they feel good. Because why would you make a video on a day when you feel like shit? I just guess I wouldn't. I've thought about it loads of times on those shitty days, but then I just think, I'm like, nah, fuck that, fuck off. So yeah, but now I don't get those days really at all. I'm on liquids again now, so every time I go between liquids and solids, my diet gets a bit cleaner. So I eat fully raw now when I eat. I'm looking to drop avocados next, because I know that fats are not really necessary. My body wants hydration, and I know that fats just make my blood stick together and impede the blood flow, and they're just not very easy to eliminate. So Looking to drop avocados next, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to do about 2 weeks on juices, get some more plaques out, and see what happens.